All right, hey everybody, RV Enthusiast here. Nice seeing you again. Hey, we are going to ride the Engwe EP2-Pro today. It's about 10:45 is my guess in the morning, 10:50. The speedometer on this says we got 2.9 miles, so we are going to ride this really for the first time. But this ride, fully charged battery, we're going to see how far this goes for a distance non-pedal ride. Anyway, beautiful looking bike, has a 940 amp output at the motor, which is a 750 watt motor. I don't see the name on it. I'm not sure what the name is on it. I don't know if it's a Bafang or a Shangji or another branded motor. That really is unimportant as long as it works flawlessly. I don't care. This is a 26 mile an hour bike, has a 13 amp battery in the right here under the logo. It has dual chain guard, mag wheels, very nice bike. But let's take it on a ride and let's see how far we can go. Now we're going to use the Relive app. Anyway, beautiful display as you guys can see below me. I hope you can see that. It looks like you can see it, but a beautiful inverted display, all dark, and then the numbers are light. I'm anticipating 20 miles on this. It only has a 13 amp battery, which will limit our distance. I'm hoping we can go all the way out to our road and then back. The one I normally do, we're gonna see if we can get all the way out there and back. I think we'll be able to do it. I don't know that we'll get much more than 20 on it though. And maybe it'll be 18, because like I said, I'm not pedaling. I am not pedaling, guys. And you go, well, gosh, you sure do a lot of these with no pedal. And this is a true statement. All right, we're gonna turn here. It's a true statement, and there's a reason for it. Hey, we're on cruise control right now. I promised the manufacturers I would do a distance ride, no pedal, in what I do. I tell them straight up, you will get a ride where I don't pedal. And just to see how far it takes this big framed man without pedaling. And I think it's appreciated, and I think you guys appreciate it too. I know people that that are walking or ride by me, or I ride by, and they go, man, that dude ain't pedaling. That's not what it's really meant to do. But the reality is, it's kind of in my contract. At least the contract I like to put out. When I say I'm going to do it, I'm going to do it. So this is a beautiful looking bike. Some of the differences you're going to see in bikes that I ride, and you may say, well, you know, if you say, hey Bruce, what's the better bike? It all depends on what you're looking for, and which ride's better. It all depends on you as well. Hey, I'm glad I got the sweatshirt on. So one of the things I want to say is this one has a fairly nice, for a folding bike, the handlebars are spread pretty well, but that's one of the things. You can have narrow handlebars, which makes it very attuned to turns and movements, small movements. So it makes it a little bit like that. And some will have wide handlebars. If you have a wide handlebars, it's a little more, less, what's the word? Less jolty, less critical of your movement. So it's more like a cruiser style type ride. The wider you get, the less influx you have with your movements. So that's kind of what the difference is. This has mechanical brakes. I don't know what the name of the hand brakes are on the top. I can't really read that. Wixling. They seem to brake good. I'll let you know before I end the ride how well they brake overall. But yeah, a lot of people ask me, what do I think of 20-inch bikes? Sorry about that. You're really wiggling out there. what I think about 20-inch bikes, I think I probably look a little bit different on them because I'm a big guy, and I'm sure people look at me and go, why didn't he get a bigger bike? Well, these bikes are given to me, and quite frankly, they're fun to ride. To me, they're a little more fun to ride than the big cruiser styles. Now, that's my opinion. I know other people that ride like the big full-size bikes. I do too. But I'm blessed to have several bikes to ride, and I'm blessed to have the small 20 inches as well, because these are fun. All right, I'm gonna quit talking for a little bit so we can get some hyperlapse in here. Hyperlapse looks cool on this kind of stuff. And I'll probably speak over the hyperlapse, use the audio from the non-hyperlapse type camera. The thing I can tell you is the acceleration on this bike is very smooth. It's not aggressive, and it may be a setting in the display. I don't know that because I haven't checked that out, but it is possible. If you want one straight off the rip that's more aggressive, this probably isn't the bike for you. This bike lists for $10.99, and I believe you can find coupons, and maybe in my description you can find a coupon and use that to get a discount on the bike as well. Yeah, I think Engwe right now is still running their promotion with their anniversary, and I think it was $8.99. But Engwe has a whole slew of bikes, a slew of them. So they sure have something that will work for your budget and kind of bike you like. So from my other ride yesterday, yesterday was the ride, but you guys saw it on Friday, and this is now Monday or Tuesday for you guys. I mentioned I got a couple of more bikes coming in. Well, overnight, I had a couple of more emails. So out of that, we may have one more or two more. One looked like it was a mistake, like they wanted me, they thought I was a dealer. And if that turns out to be a mistake, I'll tell you about it later. But if it's not a mistake, you'll see that when it comes to. That's pretty interesting email. And then I got another email on another product that is an accessory to a bike. I said yes to it. I'm not 100% sure they're going to agree to what I said, the proposal. But you know, I can't do videos for the little amounts on that kind of thing. They just take up too much time, and it's just not worth my time. So that being said, let's hope it turns out to be okay. The battery energy is about, let's take those numbers, 13 amps at 48. So 13 amps at 50, so 50 divided by, or 13 divided by 2 is 650 watts. So I got 650 watts of power in the battery capacity. The motor runs at 750 watts, so I get about, if you're running full power at 750 watts, you get about 50 minutes of riding. If you're not using all 750, you'll get more. If you're using the 940, like, you know, its max output is 940, so then you're going to get about 35 or 40 minutes of riding. Yeah, so the width of these handlebars, they're okay for a folding bike. They're not bad. Some are a little narrower. Some will be like into here. These are about normal feeling. Maybe a little narrower than, well, obviously narrower than some really wide ones that may sit you out here, but it's not uncomfortable at all. Not at all. Yeah, so these rides, once I get some of them in, I can just go for normal rides and pedal and get some good exercise in. Looking forward to that as well. On this one, again, you can pedal backwards and it doesn't affect your cruise control. Pedaling forward will stop your cruise control, or braking will stop your cruise control. So these are manual pull brakes, and they're mechanical. The brakes they're okay. Nothing to write home about. They're not hydraulic. Not the worst mechanical brakes I've ever had. Unless the bike is absolutely horrible out of the box and just a disaster, then I'll tell you it's a disaster. All right, guys, we made it here. You guys know this is where I like to come to on my ride. This is the end of the trail for the ride itself. Now I'll turn back and let's put a kickstand down. We'll take a few pictures and continue on. All right, so right now we're at 7 miles. I sure hope we get 7 more in. Remember, 13 amp battery, so it's not gonna get you crazy mile distances, I don't believe. Yeah, when I get up here, heck, maybe I'll do it right here. Let's go right here. Big old tractor behind me. All right, hey, this is what the Engwe looks like, guys. Pretty little bike, right? Let's show you the sunshine side. Yeah, she's pretty. I'm pretty too, though. All right, let's continue on. Hey, we're down to 1 battery bar, and we got a long way to go, guys. And it's like she's only going to get about 14 miles on her charge. Boy, I hope it does better than that. But, you know, when a 20 amp battery will get you 27, my expectation is this is going to get me around 15 or 16, which should get me home. That's the plan anyway. All right, when I get up around this corner, I'm gonna put this phone back in its, or this 360 back in its place. We'll do that when we get up here a little bit. And yeah, you can see the mountain pretty well, about like you did yesterday. I'm not gonna waste my time taking a picture because it becomes very, very tiny in these wide angle cameras. Very tiny. But man, what a nice ride. I might have to pedal 5 miles home, guys. That wasn't planned. For what I do, I should have required 2 batteries from Engwe. I didn't anticipate getting stuck out this far, if I get stuck out this far. All right, we're gonna stop here. Well, let's get to the top right up here, because then I got a little bit of downhill and we'll do okay there. So one of the things I'm going to note is Engwe has metal fenders, and these metal fenders, you can hear them. I can hear them shake every once in a while. You hear them have a little bit of little bit of that rattle, right? It's not a big deal, and it's not terrible here. At least their bike isn't terrible. But you can physically hear that happening. Oh man, I'm telling you, I hope the weather gets well, it will. It's supposed to be nice today. I'm really gonna love when I can take this sweatshirt off. And for you long-term subscribers, when I take the sweatshirt off, what you're gonna see, my typical gray t-shirt. So if you've been following my channel a long time, you'll know I was up to around 280. And I dropped that down to around I think 247 was my very low. Always I think of it when I'm dressed about 250. Well, right now I'm right at 260. So over the winter, since Thanksgiving, thank you, I've gained a few of the pounds back. Not too much, but enough that says, hey, you need to get back out and start doing things. And that's what I typically do. Summers I lose weight, winters I gain weight. Probably like most other people out there. But I do it a little more excessive than others. So this time wasn't so bad. So that's a good thing. What I consider a 10 or 12 pound, that's not bad for the winter. Now, I've got a lot of things I'm doing over the summer here. You know, we're going on a cruise. And you know what you do on cruises, if you haven't been on a cruise, all you do is eat. So, going on a cruise, got a wedding, going out to dinner here in a few nights with some friends. My daughter-in-law, Frances, she turns 31 tomorrow, and fortunately, she's pregnant with baby number 2, so her appetite isn't there. So I don't think we're doing the big steakhouse dinners that we do every birthday. So that's kind of good. All right, Engwe, you got to make this. We got to get there, man. And again, on this bike, what we'll do is if the battery does die, we'll stop, we'll pull over for a few minutes, we'll let it rest, regain some of that slump, and continue on. And hopefully that'll get me home, which will be 15 miles. Let's see here. Braking, no one there. I'm going to continue on. Yeah. So I know a lot of these people look at me. I know he's like, man, dude, you ain't pedaling. No, not pedaling. So that's where we're at here. Oh, I want to tell you this too. On the bell, right here. So when I did review the bike, the bell sounded like this. Flat. Well, this little pin right here is just a plastic push-in pin. So I pulled that out and I beat this out a little bit. This is a metal, it's coated, but it's a metal bell. And so I beat that out a little bit to make it a little more flush, and there we go. We have a bell. Again, I'll tell you this, Engwe was like, now, if something's wrong with the bike, let us know, and we'll send out whatever it is, a new rotor, a new tire, a new wheel, whatever it would take to make the bike work for you in the unboxing and all that other stuff. Well, the bell came smashed. I am not about to say, Engwe, the bell came smashed, you need to give me a new bell. Most likely I'm going to replace that bell eventually anyway. And if I don't, it's okay. It works. It does what it's supposed to do. So why would I replace something when it does what it's supposed to do? Why would I do that? That's a pretty house right there, man. That's a pretty house. So that being said, yeah. Engwe, most of these bike companies, at least to us YouTubers, they're fairly responsive and reasonable to us. Yeah, you can tell a lot of bikes are getting out on the road today because of our first really, really beautiful day of riding. So I'm still at 1 bar, guys, so we'll see what happens when we continue on and it does good or bad. I don't know. So right now we're at 13, so we're just over 11 miles. Almost, yeah, 11 miles. And we need to get to at least back to the house. So the next bike I'm going to ride will be for you in a few days. And I took it out of the barn and started charging it up just to make sure it had a full charge. And it did not have a full charge. So I was expecting just, maybe an hour it'd be on the charger and it'd be topped back off. But I must have ridden it because it doesn't have a full charge and it's already been on there a couple of hours. So hopefully it'll get charged up here real soon, and maybe I can download some of this to the computer and jump back out on it. And we'll go over the specs of that bike as well when we ride it. So what I want to do is I want to go over the specs a little bit just so you know what we're riding, right? So this bike weighs 73 pounds, 13 amp battery, does 26 miles an hour in mechanical brakes. Overall, especially when they're having this this anniversary sale, this is a great bike. It's a great buy. Now, if you bought it for that price, it's got Chow Yang tires on it too, but if you bought it for something like that, and you said, gosh, I really want to put hydraulic brakes on it, spend a couple $100, put hydraulic brakes, or get cable pulled hydraulic brakes. Those are nicer too. And then you can say, hey, I don't really love the hand grips, buy lock-on grips. You can modify this enough to for very inexpensive to make it a lot more custom, and this bike is inexpensive, man, and it's 750 watts. So I'm hoping that that little last digit on the battery will blink when it's at low turn-off time. Maybe not. We're at 13 miles now. Something like that. $12 point something, I'm guessing. So it's just a guess because we're going to rely on Relive to do that. Oh, that was the other thing I wanted to talk to you about. So I have Relive at the end of the app, and it's, I love what it shows you. But when you stop and take a photo, it gives you, even in the free version, which I use, it gives you those photos, kind of a crappy looking standard definition, very low quality, but it puts them there. And I send a high quality photo to the manufacturer just to show them, or if I'm putting it in the video, I use a higher quality picture. So, yeah, I think that's what I'm going to continue to do. At the end, my brain says, oh, make it a higher quality because I see it. And I'm like, but I usually will put some photos in the image, in the video as I ride. So So I think I'm going to keep that free, because I think that the app is like $40 a year or $40, and it's just not worth it for that, because all I use it for is to show you the route I took, the speeds that it went, the high speed, the elevation, neck change, and stuff like that. So I think I'll just keep it the way it is. Sometimes it's a pain to get through all those menus too, man. Because you got to go through like 6 menus: skip, add, no, yes. That's a little bit of a pain. Yeah, so like I said, the battery indication, if you remember when we were riding there, I got down to 2, and now we're still on 1 coming back. So the battery indicator is just as a reference. I mean, we know we're low. So a lot of people use voltage. Like, you can change it over to say, hey, I'm at, on this 48, I'm at 53 volts. And at 42 or 41.9 is a hard shutoff. I don't really use that. I do reference it once in a while, but I don't use it on my rides. So we're over 13 now. Let's jump up over that. Sorry about all that wiggle on the front. Nothing there. I could have making that turn a little tighter. Could have, didn't. Could have. Yeah, I think when I get home, if that battery's charged, I'm going to grab a sandwich, eat, and then come right back out and ride that bike. So I'm going to, we're going to the mall today. I drove my wife into Jeff's house and they drove to work. And Fran wants to pick out some clothes for her birthday present. So we're gonna go pick out some clothes and maybe have dinner at the mall. I'd like Cheesecake Factory, but I don't know. I don't have cheesecake. I'm not, their cheesecake's good, but I'm not into that as much as I am like their pasta carbonara or something like that. And there's why I weigh 260, guys. $14 miles in, guys. At least according to the speedometer. So remember, guys, I say this on every distance video, that what this bike does with me on it, if you don't weigh what I weigh, if you weigh less than me, which is 260, between 250 260, you should get more miles out of the bike. This should be the minimum on a distance only ride, no pedal. Now pedaling, of course, this would this number here would easily double. It would easily double. Yeah, I think tomorrow's supposed to be in the 80s, and then the next day 87. Friday should be like 87 degrees. So I haven't mowed my exterior lawn, my outer banks of my lawn this week, because I want some of that moisture to come out of the grass, because I just cleaned underneath my decks on my mowers and my tractor, and I don't want to have to clean them out again because it'll stick if it's wet. So the drier it is, the less sticky it'll be. Now this bike has one bar, and it's going to struggle. It's still going to make it, but it's going to struggle. I don't have the throttle cranked all the way open, but may as well have, because it ain't going any faster. There we go. Yeah, we got down to 12 something. All right, so we know this gets 16, 15 for sure. There's 15 on the display. And we'll ride the neighborhood a couple of times till it dies, just to see what it does. There's my neighbor. Yeah, neighborhood. That's the one thing I can tell you about my neighborhood. We do have a HOA, and very minimum hands-on, which I kind of like. I mean, they'll get on you if you're doing something really wrong, but here you're allowed to put your shed in front of your house. And I guess because of the amount of property we have, a lot of people do it. For me, I think it's not attractive. My personal opinion is that it should go no more than the front of your house or behind, meaning pulled back away, like mine is, even with my house. Everyone's is either pretty much even with their house or behind. Now, right here, slightly in front, turned a little bit, doesn't look so bad, but still slightly in front. I don't think they should be able to be in front. I think they should have to. Now in his is a little bit different, because his is off, not facing the road. And his is okay, his is behind the house. There it is. The battery is giving me the blink, so we're going to turn around here. I'm not going all the way down there to have to pedal back. So with the blink, we're going to call that it. And by the time we get back to the house, according to the speedometer, we'll be at about 18.9. I think we started at 2.9, so that's 16 miles. And we'll see what the Relive app shows. Really, for it blinking, we're still getting very interesting 18 miles. So I'm going to go down. I'm going to make sure I get 16 on it, at least on the display. So I'm going to go down to the mailbox and back, if we can do that. hopefully these aren't that far off that they don't read drastically different. I sure hope it's 16. Now, could I ride this till it just absolutely shuts down? I could, but I don't know that that's necessarily a good thing for the battery or the good thing for the motor. So I'm just going to shut it down as soon as I get right back to the house, and we're going to call that what it is. All right, guys, I hope you enjoyed the ride. Tune in for the next ride. And tune in to the channel, subscribe, like, share, and we will be on the next bike here shortly. Thanks for joining me, guys. All right, guys, that's the video for the day. I hope you enjoyed it. Please like, share, and subscribe below, and we'll see you on the next episode.